Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Today is 2019, November 2nd, Saturday. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Saturday, noon, San Francisco time. Did I miss anything? Okay. So good morning, guys. So good morning, guys. We do not have a fixed topic today, and let's just talk about random stuff. And Bartholomew kept asking me about GitLab. Bart says, talk about GitLab tracking feature planned, then removed. I don't know nothing about that. Then Bart says, Bart says they tried to introduce a tracking feature into GitLab, then community backslash. Now they canceled it. Okay. Okay. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I don't know nothing about it. GitLab. The question I wonder is how does GitLab make money? Since a year or 2 years ago, Microsoft bought GitHub. Then everyone, all the nerds, is like, oh, we need to switch to GitLab. GitLab. Crap. The Git. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here comes another topic, a torrent of topics about the history of GitLab, the history of repository, software version and repository websites. Before GitHub, before GitHub becomes the number one most popular, there were several competitors. There's a Git like you don't even I don't even remember the names now, but there are at least two competitors. They are head to head. No one is more popular than the other. So you have GitHub. You have what's the names, guys? Do you guys remember? I can remember the name if I try to think about it. But usually when I'm talking, my brain's half 50% gone. So anyway, there's a GitLab. There is a bitbucket. Yes, GitLab is new. Okay, let's forget about GitLab for the moment. Bitbucket, GitHub. There's another one. There's another one. Okay, at least there's another one. That's at least three of them. So around 2008 also, you have these several. Then it was one of my question. Why did GitHub become the most popular? Gradually over the years, GitHub becomes the one people go to. The others just went away. It's still Bitbucket is still there. I think it's now owned by Alexias or Alexian something. Bitbucket. In fact, I have my entirety of my websites Atlassian. Yeah, that's the one. Atlassian. They are still around. I have all my websites on their. I'm using Bitbucket. I stopped updating since about 3 years ago. So on my website, so you have 7,000 HTML files. You have altogether, including image files, you have like 30,000 files. A big thing. All my websites, Xali Info, Xali Org, Xa Arts, Xa Music, so on Bitbucket. Why? Because it's free. It's free. You cannot do so. It's private and it's free. On Bitbucket, it's free if you only have like one or two users, something like that. You can make it private. But on GitHub, you can if you want it to be private, you have to pay right away. So that is why I was using Bitbucket, to sync my websites in case my hard disk died and I don't have money. This is few years ago. I still don't have a backup kind of. So I was using Bitbucket. This is like 3 years ago. But I stopped. I haven't been logging into stuff anyway. But I'm talking about 2008 also. 2000, when this you know, Git itself began around what 2005 or so. So Git began 2005, and also back then you have several competitors. You have Mercury. You have there are at least a total of three of them. You have Mercury, and you have the another one. The GNU project is using is sucks donkey ass. It's one of the worst. Okay, the history of and then you have SVN. Before that, you have CVS. Okay, there's a lot of topic to talk about. I mean, the question is which one I'm gonna focus. What kind of thing am I gonna focus on? So you have SVN. Okay, I actually have a tutorial of SVN. Now, SVN to you guys, if you are young, you probably don't know, but SVN is actually kind of new. Subversion. When you get old, everything is. Back then, this is like the hipsters thing. SVN. It's like the brand new thing. Everyone needs to. You need to switch to it immediately, guys. You need to use S subversion. If you don't use subversion, you are an idiot. Okay, you need to switch to it. Subversion. This is the subversion began around 2002 something, or actually 2001 or something. Subversion is supposed to be the rewrite of the CVS. Okay, now CVS is another thing. I don't have a tutorial here. I know CVS inside out because that's what we were using. So CVS, and before CVS you have something else. So this is history of computing. History. You don't know if you are not there. So you have CVS, then you have subversion. CVS has got lots of problems and tons of the Unix fuckheads problems in CVS. Okay, the Unix philosophy, everything is wrong. And then you have subversion. Subversion is supposed to be to fix CVS. Okay, it's try to complete rewrite of CVS. Then Linus Torvalds came up. He created the Git. Okay, now before, so Git, what's new with Git? The new thing, the new concept with Git is distributed. It's distributed. It's kind of entirely new. But however, Git is not the first one. Before Git, there is this one on Haskell called I don't even remember the names now. Does anyone remember the name? There's a Haskell versioning system written in Haskell that is uh, the first distributed version control system. I should be able to remember the names. Guys, do you guys remember? Okay, we need the Haskell people here. We need Justin. Well, this is like 10 years old, okay? 10 years ago. So Haskell has one. This is the first distributed. Back then the distributed idea is new. So am I alive? It'll be okay. I think. Oh, by the way, emacs conference is going on. Okay, so you guys can go watch that. If you get bored of my rant, emacs conference is happening right now. Like emacs conference 2019 this year, and they are supposed to be all. It's a teleconferencing, so it's not actually live somewhere, but it's all by videos. Uh, so what VCS? What not VCS? What is VCS? Uh, do you think there is any reason to use SVN over Git? No. SVN is like already dead, even though if it is technically superior, but even that you don't use it because practically speaking, it's dead. Nobody is using it. If you use it, it's like you are using, NIM, Julia, Lisp, Common Lisp. Okay, nobody cares. You are out of the social structure, social order. But even technically, it's not better than Git because SVN is not distributed, okay, but it's just old. Uh, so so back to my topic. So you have CVS, you have SVN. SVN is a new thing, okay. Then the Linus Torvalds created Git, which is supposed to be ground up new. The new idea is actually the distributed thing. And he's a great coder. He's the C type of low level kernel file system. C, the low level memory stuff, pointers. That those are crap. These type of people. Linus Torvald is that type of people. The low level. He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything else. Some. You know. Yes, he's he only know the C. He doesn't know JavaScript. Like he has no idea how what it is like. He's like that. He just C. So Linux Torvald created Git, but Git, the new idea is distributed. But however, it's not a new idea. Because there is a Haskell one. I need to find the Haskell one. Don't anyone remember the name? Virtual control system, open source shell. Okay, let's. I forgot the name. Okay, let's just search for it. Haskell version control system. You need to say distributed. Okay, back then this is the first one. This is around 2006. Darc. There it is. Darc. Now darc. Now darc is written. Darcs is so darcs came before Git. Okay, it is the distributed version control system written in Haskell. It's written by a professor who is a physicist. Physicist professor. Now this guy, apparently he's studying quantum mechanics. Okay, let's search for Xali Darc because I have an article on that. DARCS. There it is. Okay. This is written in 2007. This is history, guys. History. By the way, we have another question from Carrick, who is asking about programming languages. We're gonna get to that. Okay, remind me if I didn't. So you have distributed revision control systems, Haskell darcs, and math sacrilege. Okay, so darc is written in Haskell, and it's written by this physicist professor guy. Okay, so there's interesting thing going on. Okay, here this is open source. Fuck. Well, it's not. It's not. Okay, this article is complaining about some human personality problem. It's not really about open source. Okay, I take that back. Anyway, let's read it for a bit. But let's remember, where are we going? So I'm talking about. So let's write it down. That's the best thing, to write down what you are talking about. Version control history. Okay, history of version control systems. CVS. There's something before CVS on Unix. I forgot the name. Okay, but when I was in doing Unix system in 1998, CVS is the predominant one. There's like before CVS, there's something like patch, Unix command line patch stuff. So CVS subversion, or SVN, known as SVN. Then you have Haskell darcs. Okay, first distributed. Okay, then you have magnify. Then you have Git. Okay, we are talking about that. Then there are several topics. Let's write it down. What are we talking about? The story of darcs by a quantum mechanics physicist. How do you spell physicist? Okay, physicist. Okay, wait, is that right? Physicist. Oh, okay, I spelled it correctly. Quantum mechanics. This guy. The story of human. How do you say that? The story of let's just say arrogance. It's not arrogance exactly. Of darcs by quantum mechanic. Okay, physics. Okay, that's a story. The story of human arrogance of darcs by a quantum mechanics physics. Dissing mathematics. Okay, he's a quantum mechanic physicist, and he's like, dissing mathematics. He think he knows stuff, and he wrote darcs. Haskell. He's a Haskell fanatic, no doubt. And that's and the story of open source. Okay, related to open source. And the story of open source. Okay, lots of dark issues you don't know, you don't hear it, and you don't want to know. You open source fans, you lovely open source fans, you don't know it because you don't want to know. And the story of human arrogance of darcs. Okay, it's not arrogance, but we will talk about that. Then the history of web hosting sites of of a version control system. Okay, so actually, darcs git. Okay, wait. So you have CVS subversion, darcs git. You have Mercury, and you have another one. You have at least two more. Mercury and one insisted by Richard Stallman. Fuck. It's very bad. About only 3 years ago, about in 2016 or 2017, the emacs finally switched to Git. Okay, so what is the other one? It's run by the company that runs Ubuntu. So what is the company that runs Ubuntu? What's the company? The company behind that runs Ubuntu. Anyone knows? Canonical. Okay, so I think, yeah, Cannonical. Canonical's version control system. Version control system. There's a one. What's the name? I forgot. But let's look up. Good morning, Emily. Good morning to UK, and good morning to you German guys. Okay, so it's not here. Not like these days you cannot find it anymore if you don't know the name. But let's go to Wikipedia. Version control system. This way we can see all the ones in the history. Like they have a list of version control systems, I'm sure. So let's see version control his systems. History, structure, graph structure, my ass. Specialized strategies, source management model, my ass. These programmers, they don't know nothing. They every time whenever they have a chance, they try to introduce math jargons, but they have no idea what they're talking about. Like graph, distributed, like the Git people, they like to say, oh, Git is just a directed graph. Yeah, ass. Distributed revision control, integration, branch, and they have a list. I want a list of systems. Okay, list of version control software. Okay, so before CVS, there is this RCS, okay, and there is this SCCS. Those are before CVS, okay. So these are 1990s. Now, the RCS and SCCS, they are kind of just a command line. You do patch and diff, kind of like that. I haven't used them, but so okay. So after that, this is 1990s. So after that, the CVS is the actual kind of the first real version control system. CVS, okay. CVS. Then you have subversion, which is kind of a rewrite of CVS. Vesta, I don't know. Then, okay, proprietary. Okay, I don't know about proprietary stuff. Okay, you have a bunch of proprietary stuff. One that I know, which is pretty famous, is the proprietary ones. Which one is it? Used by Linux for a while, I think. Yes, used by Linus Torvalds for a while. Proprietary ones. I forgot what's the name. Volt, maybe. I forgot. So distributed. There it is. Darcs. So you can see darcs here is the first one. Okay, yeah. So there we have it. Bazaar. 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 Okay, Bazaar is Canonicals. They are trying to do it. And it's used by emacs till 2015 or something. By 2015, Bazaar is long time dead. Like, okay, the version control war. It's like browser war. So in around 2005, you have Git, you have darcs, you have Mercury, you have Bazaar, and there's another one, bitkeeper. Okay, bitkeeper. Okay, so bitkeeper. Yeah, bitkeeper is the actually. Okay, bitkeeper is proprietary, but Mercurial. Okay, not Mercury. Mercurial. Mercurial and Gnu arc. Okay, so I suppose we can put Gnu arc here. These GNU ones is like nobody uses except a few, like 10 GNU fanatics, free software fanatics. So among the open source, you have the open source, then you have the free software foundation. They are at war. They don't like each other. In particular the free software foundation, the Richard Stallman camp, despise the open source. I mean, it's just the war. It's internal. You don't talk about it much. These open source fanatics, fuckheads, they do society wrong. So Bazaar. So you have Bazaar and darcs. You have Fossil. Anyway, the most famous, back in around 2006 or so, the 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 version control system war is actually war. Git is not more popular than the others. So it's like in the software industry, we are still trying to find which one. There's no one standard. Everyone, you use that, I use that. Some other one company use others. So it's a war. It's fighting it out. Eventually, Git won. Why did Git won? So anyway, so the history of version control system. So you have this bunch, okay, and then let's talk about why did Git won, okay. Now nobody can say for sure because that's kind of a social question, but for my opinion, Git won because Linus Torvalds, who is famous for Linux, that is why, okay, for no other reason, not necessarily because Git is technically superior, okay, not necessarily. In fact, I would not say it is technically superior in several ways. But Mercurial, for example, is easier to learn, and it was originally written. Was it in Python or Ruby? I forgot which. Was it Python or Ruby, guys? Mercurial. So anyway, Git won, but I wouldn't say it's absolutely. It's Git is pretty good technically, but in my opinion, it won. In my opinion, Git won mostly because the fame of Linus. Okay, who created Linux. Okay, that's it. That's because he's famous. Everyone wants to know what shirt he's wearing. So he won. Okay, Mercurial is written in Python. Okay, yeah, right, Python. So anyway, in the end, Git won, and the others just gradually died out. Like people, like in the open source community, you have phonetics everywhere. You have Python phonetics. Python must, you must write everything in Python. Oh, but no, you must run everything in Ruby. Ruby is the better one. Then the Lisp phonetics, they are like that. Nerds, they fight stuff all day and night. So in the version control, so we are talking about version control system war, circa 2005 to 2010. I don't, something around there. Okay, eventually Git won. Git won. Okay, but when it's not too clear, it's written on the wall. Git is gonna be the one for the future, but they are still Mercurial users. They are still fighting it. But at the end, this happens. Like for example, Lisp programmers today, it's already dead. But 10 years ago, you still see some Lispers. They insist this. It's gonna be still around, things like that. So anyway, eventually Git won, and that's because, in my opinion, why? In my opinion, it's just simply because, mostly because Linus, he's the most famous. He's a hot shot. He's a big shot. He's the talker. He's saying, fuck you. He's saying, fuck you. And Nvidia. Have you guys seen the video? Go fuck you and Nvidia. The graphics system, the graphics card maker, the game for gamers. No, fuck you, Linus. Well, actually, that's not called for. But anyway, my complaints about the open source, the dark activities and stuff, you don't see, because when you see open source, you think of the goodness of humanity. Oh, everyone is sharing. Oh, we must help each other. We must. Then it becomes, we must help women. We must help blacks. We must help the poor. Then it becomes social justice scan. If you don't do what I say, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna read. You're gonna be fired. You're gonna be, whatever. That becomes social justice scan. Social justice warrior. They have roots in the open source fanaticism. They have, their roots came, in part. Okay, the reason social justice can rise, there are quite a lot of reasons, political and academia, but part of it in the software industry is because open source mentality spread by the open source communism. By the way, did you guys know that the social justice people, they are for communism? Does anyone not know that? Have you guys seen, the riots in USA, and in Europe too? But I don't know much about Europe. But in USA, and the USA politicians, the Democratic, they are saying communism, socialism. The Antifa gangster, they are flying communism flags, the Russian flags. Did you guys know? Or does anyone not know that? Raise your hand, okay? Yeah, social justice, communism, from open source. So that's about the version control system war, okay, and Git won, okay. So that's that. Now the next topic is the war. The next topic, the history of web hosting sites of version control systems war. This is when you have GitHub, uh, GitHub, and what's the others? Let's try to remember the names so I can, you know, I want to actually bitbucket. Okay, so you have GitHub, bitbucket. Then you have Gitto something. Does anyone remember Gitto? Gitto plus. Okay, so let's go to Wikipedia again. Wikipedia has always have these lists. So let's go to GitHub. GitLab is new. Okay, don't talk. Shut up. GitLab is like the latest craze. GitLab that did not exist, I don't think, in 2008. Now we were talking about 2008, the history of web hosting sites. Before GitHub won. We were talking about that. GitLab was not there. I don't think so. So we were talking about. Oh, GitLab is Git. No, what? What are you talking about? GitHub. Okay, let's look at the HDD ZFS. I don't know what they are. You talking about file systems or what? So GitHub. Let's go to. We want to go to the. We want to go to the. Oh, this cat. This cat is a great artwork. This is a great example of logo. This is mascot. This is great one actually. You look at the GitHub history, the social justice war. Do you guys know about this GitHub? It's when it rose, 2007, and there's several incidents of the social justice fighting, big news, big and small, every year. Like Bart, you know that? Did you know? Open source. The dark politics, the fighting, the clawing each other's eyes out. Open source. Because once you remove the money, then people cannot. The open source mentality is that we share. Oh, we must share. We must help each other. We must, help each other. Then once you remove the motivation for human survival, like you are not allowed to prosper. Money, you are not allowed to. You must share. Everything you own must share. You must not have properties. That's communism, okay? Guys, communism, you cannot have a car. Everything you own is public property. That's the ultimate sharing mentality. Ultimate. We share everything. You should not have everything by yourself. Your money is mine, okay? Your money, give it to me. Open source, that's the ultimate open source mentality. Super chat, guys. Now thanks to Google, now I have super chat. Okay, so we are trying to look for a list of the websites that hosts the GitHub and stuff. Scope license of repositories GitHub Enterprise. There we have it, Enterprise. And now it's bought by Microsoft. And now everyone is like, oh no, we cannot use it anymore. Let's switch to GitLab. GitLab every day. GitLab this, GitLab that. Fuck. And next year, GitLab, then Google says, hey, GitLab, yeah, I'm gonna give you $1 billion. You're gonna do this for us, okay? GitLab. By next year, so 2020. Then everyone is then they're gonna be something else, like open source. Oh, panic! Oh my God, GitLab is bought out by Google. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna create a new thing. Then every open source is mouthing, oh, this GitLab new, GitLab 2, GitLab. Everyone is telling you need to switch. The fuck open source. So what do you guys think? Let me ask you, the open source fanatics. So what do you guys think? Yeah, open source. So you have GitLab, okay? GitLab or whatever. It's doing good, right? It's doing supposedly good. So next year, they're gonna bought out by Google or whatever, or by Facebook. Let's say They're gonna do it, so you're gonna do it. If Google says, tomorrow says, hey, Bart, I'm gonna give you 1 million, because I like you. And you're gonna stop saying your things anymore. That's the same thing. That's the thing. Everyone is, you can just easily, because that is what actually works. That's not natural. There's nothing wrong with it. You work hard, you create GitLab, then Google likes it, Google wants to buy it. They are not putting a gun on your head. That's illegal. They ask you, I'm gonna give you $1 billion. You sell or not? It's up to you. Then what you gonna do? Okay, I work hard. I think I deserve it. Yeah, I want to sell it. I sell it. Then tomorrow it's owned by Google. That's the story of GitHub, GitLab, and everything else. So what do you think? You open source fanatics or free software fanatics. What do you think of these? So yeah, open source. Then Google bought it. Is that then next year you're gonna all the people is gonna switch around? What you gonna do? I mean, is that do you think something is wrong? They hear, or you think this is perfect? This is what it should be. Yeah, every GitLab, they will be sold out. You know that already, and you are fine. So next year when they are sold out, then you're gonna switch. You're gonna spend days to switch all your project to the other one. Is that normal? Is that what you guys, open source fanatics, free software fanatics, you think that's the way it should be? Or what is it? What is your answer? Like, what is your retort to my rant against open source? Yeah. Yeah. Freddy says, yeah, what? Oh my god, GitHub. So let's look at the let's look at yeah, let's look at the list of websites that host the GitHub thing. Okay, so let's see. Um, Collaborative Innovation Network. What the fuck? The mouthful. Common base peer production comparison. Okay, there it is. A list of source code hosting facilities. Just say website, not facility. Facility, my ass. I'm a Superman. I kind of told my sentiment of today, Matt. Okay, so Matt. So so comparison. So we are talking about the history of web hosting. The websites that host this thing, these version control systems. So you have SourceForge. Oh my God, SourceForge! How could we forget you? You are the oldest granddaddy of the web hosting open source stuff. And that reminds me, FreshMeat. Oh my god, the history. FreshMeat. Now, quiz. Do you guys know what is FreshMeat? Like, raise your hand. Does anyone know what is FreshMeat? Say it, okay? FreshMeat. Okay, you guys don't know. History. The history of history is something nobody knows, nobody cares. It's forgotten. If it doesn't sound good to you, it's forgotten. If it sounds good to you, you remember it. They say history is written by the winners. FreshMeat, bitbucket, okay, GitHub. These are all the popular ones. FreshMeat, and SourceForge. Okay. And Gitia. Okay, I think I remember Gitia. I don't remember. I'm talking about just some of the popular ones. I mean, there are hundreds there, but I'm talking about some of the popular ones. Gnu Savannah. That's the one. That's the one used by Gnu. It sucks. donkey ass, sucks the incredible, the most worst donkey ass. You go look at the GNU's the website. Their website is like from 1999. This it's the one fuck and not updated tons of look at this garbage. You don't know where to look. It's just work because nobody works on it, no money. And this is Free Software Foundation's answer to the GitLab. This you should support this one. You should use this one. Try it. Try it. Fuck, doesn't work in everywhere. And you try to file a bug report, then after no response after 10 years, like I did. After 10 years they send you thank you letters. Thank you. Your bug report from 10 years ago, I still receive it like just 2 weeks 3 weeks ago. Fuck open source. Gnu Savannah. Okay, this GNU. This is GNU's Free Software Foundation's version of it. Let's go back. Let's see what the others. Launchpad, indeed, Launchpad. Launchpad was popular back then. Then SourceForge. SourceForge is the oldest. Okay. So features. So let's just say this. Okay, just this. So the story of human. Okay, so the history of hosting websites and version control systems. Okay, so this is that. Okay, so you have this bunch. Okay, so actually let's make it one line. So the history of web hosting sites version control systems. Whoa. FreshMeat is the earliest. Okay, you guys don't know. Emily, so yeah, the SourceForge, it's long story, sad story of open source. Open source phonetics, you forget, you don't know it because you don't want, you only see the positive things. Everything else to you is a troll. You don't see, you live in a bubble. Open source phonetics. FreshMeat is the earliest. It began around 2000 or 1999. It began alongside of Slashdot. Now Slashdot, some of you may still know, is the earliest online forum for hackers. So you have Slashdot, you have FreshMeat, then you have the FreshMeat. Okay, and about 10 years ago they changed their name. Why? Because social justice. Like back in 1999. Okay, around there, the the programming stuff are done by hackers and basically nerds like us. Okay, we swear all the time. But now gradually the social justice rose, and it's seen as that it's become you have to use politically correct phrases. You cannot swear, things like that. So FreshMeat about 10 years ago, I forgot when, they changed their name. But let's go to freshmeat.com. Let's see what's up there. They changed their domain name, but let's just have a look. See, was it .org or .net or .com? I forgot. So let's see, freshmeat.org. Okay, that's no good. So it says I need JavaScript. I don't want to turn JavaScript on. So freshmeat.com. Let's see what I think it's .net. Okay, that's probably a bad. Freshmeat.net. Okay, .net. It become SourceForge, so it got bought out by SourceForge apparently. Long story. Okay, FreshMeat was the first online, kind of repository of software. Then, well, when we talk about that, now there's also Perl, CPAN. Okay, CPAN is even earlier. but that's kind of different. But because cpan is only for Perl, so we are talking about, on one hand, FreshMeat, SourceForge, GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab. These are about general purpose software, so you can find any software there. On the other hand, there are things like programming language library repositories. So, for example, Perl is the earliest. You have cpan. You guys know cpan? Like when I talk about these things, many things people don't know anymore. cpan is Perl's. You go there to find all Perl libraries, basically. Okay. So you have cpan Perl, the earliest. Then you have TechPan for LaTeX, TechLaTeX collection of all, tech stuff. Then Python started to, then you have a lot more. Ruby has theirs, Java has theirs, Python has theirs, every language has theirs, online repository of all the libraries for that language. So that's that thing. But we were talking about the general software repository. So FreshMeat is the earliest one. You cannot even see the website anymore because apparently it looks like they've been merged with the SourceForge. Anyway, 10 years ago they changed their name because FreshMeat, it's a kind of like it's offensive. The social justice type of people will say, "Oh, that's offensive, FreshMeat." But it was named FreshMeat because that was nerds talk. Why FreshMeat? Because it's fresh and meat. Meat is food. You want it. It's like good thing. Fresh meat. When meat is not fresh, it's no good. You get sick. So you want fresh meat. It's analogy. It's how language grows. The new words are always created by analogy. Fresh meat. So when you say fresh meat, it's like in software, it's like, oh, another great software, like a new item. Every day they have lots of new software. Open source. So maybe 10 years ago, around 10 or so years, they changed their name because I forgot what's the name they changed. But apparently it looks like they got bought out by SourceForge. Now SourceForge is another earliest one. Started around, I don't know, year 2000. About the same time as FreshMeat. So SourceForge, but because SourceForge is the earliest. Okay, before Git was even invented. SourceForge, but because it's open source, they make no money, so they are dying. Then they become spam. You go there, you have ads everywhere. Then you have malware. Because the site owners, they have no money. Either you have two choices: completely shut down, no more SourceForge. Okay, shut down, or you started to take money from questionable advertisers or some malware sites, some spammy ads. So you started to do questionable things because you have no choice, or you shut down your site. So you started to have bad things. You use it, bad ads, spam ads, or malware links, things like that. So that's the story of SourceForge. Then the open source fanatics, they started to hate it because they are spread like you guys. They are started to tell everyone, oh, don't use SourceForge because this or that. That's the story of SourceForge. You can see the stories, on Hacker News, on Slashdot. You can see them. You forgot. By tomorrow, don't worry about anything I say today. Have a cookie, because by tomorrow you won't remember a thing. Okay, guys, you won't remember a thing. By tomorrow, you'll be back singing the songs of open source. All is forgotten. You won't remember a thing. Trust me. So SourceForge, so it became spammy and it became bad. Then a few years ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago, apparently SourceForge got sold. Someone else bought SourceForge and they tried to fix everything. So they tried to say, okay, guys, we are new now. Forget about our old SourceForge. We are now new. Go come back to us. We are SourceForge. That is today's SourceForge you see here. So let's go to SourceForge. Okay, let's see if there's a difference with. Okay, so now they look like that. You see, now this is very modern. All the JavaScript libraries, frameworks. It looks like that. SourceForge, but so I don't know. This FreshMeat is like a part of SourceForge or what is it? I don't know. But anyway, but it retains kind of the. If you look at the freshmeat.sourceforge.net, it kind of retains the style of FreshMeat. It looks like slash dot. It's kind of the 1999 kind of remain the style. But SourceForge now it looks like that. So that's so FreshMeat and SourceForge are the earliest the earliest GitHub. Then we have Bitbucket, we have GitHub, we have GNU Savannah, we have Launchpad. Now these are new around let's say 2006. So at that time there's a war. There's the web hosting version control system war. Each one tries to win because the more people use your website, you have more chance of making money. So eventually GitHub won. Why does GitHub won? I think mostly because back then all these websites they support any of several numbers of version control systems. For example, Bitbucket will say, "Oh, we support Git, we support Mercurial, we support Bazaar, we support darcs, things like that." Usually not darc because darcs, the Haskell darcs is very small. But anyway, they all try to support different websites, support different others. By the way, there's also, I almost forgot, this is important. There is Google Code. Google Code, my God. It's forgotten. Now it's history. Google Code. Remember, Google began their own web hosting website that hosts software projects, open source ones, basically. And they also they support Git, they support Mercurial, at least these two. They also support Subversion. Yeah, Subversion. Let's see if we can. Let me show you. And I have Ergo Emacs hosted on Google Code. I have quite a few hosts. This one now it's shut down. You see, wait, they don't even show the there. This was their logo. Now it's archived because they shut it down. You see, this is what it looks like. Google Code. Okay. Google Code. Then Microsoft also created their own called Microsoft Multiplex or something. Okay. Was never very popular. I don't think so. It's called something. Does anyone remember what's the Microsoft one? It's called Microsoft Software Hosting. They also shut down. So, well, they bought GitHub, of course, but I think they shut down before they bought GitHub. So I don't know the name now, but if you go to Wikipedia, you can find it. I think you can find it on Wikipedia somewhere. Somewhere here. Let's search for Microsoft Azure DevOps Services. No, that's not the one. There's another one called something Multiplex or something. Anyone remember? Okay, anyway, so that's the history of web hosting websites. Now, before we talk about, now actually I already finished that subject. I'm trying to give you a history of that. So, but there is this about quantum mechanics guy where I wrote an article. Uh, this is somewhat interesting. So let me read it. So this is 2007. Now remember, Haskell darcs is the first distributed version control system before Git. Okay, so I say, so you have to, when you read this article, you have to remember this is 2007. So when you read it, you get the sense of what it is like back in 2007. As time goes by, I don't even remember what's what was it like. Like you don't remember when you were 5 years old. What is it like? You forgot when you became adult. So anyway, this is 2007. Let me read it. When I first heard about distributed when I first heard about distributed revision control system about 2 years ago, I heard of darcs, which is written in Haskell. I was hugely excited, thinking about the functional programming I love and the no side effect pure system I idolized, and the technology of human animal I rapture in daily. I have no serious actual need to use a revision control system in recent years, so I never really tried darcs, nor actively using any revision system. I just thought the newfangled distributed tech in combination of Haskell was great. About 2 months ago, I was updating a 5 years old page I wrote on Unix tools, the Unix pestilence tools and software. And I was trying to update myself on the current state of the art of revision systems. I read Wikipedia docs in this passage. Okay, anyway, that's kind of long, and that's my article. It's kind of long, but the part I want to talk about is this one. So back then, this guy, David Roundy wrote darcs, okay, and he has a essay about theory of patches as part of the darcs documentation. Theory of patches, which is no theory at all. It's crap. It's these programmers. Apparently he's a quantum mechanics physicist, and he's thinking he's got the theory of patches. Patchy theory, my ass. And here's a quote. Here's what he says. I think a little background on the author is in order. I am a physicist, and I think like a physicist. The proofs and theorems given here are what I would call physicists' proofs and theorems, which is to say that while the proofs may not be rigorous, they are practical, and the theorems are intended to give physical insight. It would be great to have a mathematician work on this, but I am not a mathematician, and I don't care for math. This is what he says. Okay, this is full of himself. What a fucking idiot! He's a physicist. You know. In the realm of physics or math, basically in hard sciences, there is a proof or there's no proof. You don't say, oh, this is a proof, but this is not a math proof, because I'm a physicist. Therefore, my proof is physicist-oriented practical proof. There's no such thing, okay? Any physicist, even physicist, any physicist in academic community will look at this. You cannot publish this. If you publish, no journal will accept this paragraph. But this guy, he's writing the documentation for darc, theory of patches, as part of the documentation for darc. That's what he says. This crap. Then I flamed him. I flamed him on Haskell groups. Then the Haskell groups spanned me. So I say I love math. I love math. I respect math. I'm nothing but a menial menial servant to mathematics. Who is this David guy who proclaims that he's no mathematician, then proceed to tell us he doesn't care about math? Then he went on about his personal zeal for physics, in particular injecting the highly cracky quantum mechanics with impunity. So that is my flame. I posted in the IRC Haskell community. They tend to ban me. They ban me left and right. So after a few years, after a year or two, I forgot when, I noticed, you go to the darcs, the darcs documentation, that paragraph is removed. Okay, you don't see that paragraph anymore. However, you also will not see any thank you, credit to me. You will not see it. This happens a lot in the open source communities. I criticize. I attack them. They because they are saying 1 + 1 = 3. I say, go fuck yourself. You are saying 1 + 1 = 3, and everyone is banning me. Everyone, the open source fuckheads, they just ban me. Okay, but after a few years, they quietly changed. They changed their stuff. So that's a story about that. This happened in Haskell community. So okay, that's a lot talk. That's a lot rant. So I want to get that the story of human arrogance, the story of not human arrogance, of mass sacrilege. So are you guys still here? You guys tired of my rants? So close that, show in browser. So that's today's topic. So Norbert Weiner, Python or Mathematica for data science. Oh, actually, okay, great. You guys are still here. So how long have I been talking? I've been talking for, let's go to, let's see how many people live stream. 13 watching now. Oh, I need to go to the videos page. And go to the live stream control. Let me take a break. Okay, I need to take a break. And let's see. So I've been talking for 1 hour, but there is another interesting topic about how do you define language expressiveness and things like that. So who asked that? Kegrick. Are you still here, Kegrick? If you still here, say it, okay? Because then we talk about that. Because otherwise, let me just answer the comments, and maybe that's it for today. Oh, Kegrick is still here. Okay, so let's let's talk about that. So we talked a lot. So let's see, Emacs conference. So by the way, Emacs conference is going on. You guys can go watch it. I think it's gonna be whole day today. There are several live talks by people. If you go to my Emacs website, search for Xali Emacs. Okay, actually go to my Emacs blog. You can see the video, Xali Emacs blog video and website. Here is the website, emacsconf.org. You can watch it. So that's about Emacs conference. And so next topic is about which language to learn. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, so I should go top, answer the first question first. So Carrick says, from your website, which programming language is more powerful or expressive but remain readable? This one is hard to say. So I give my rank ordering, and Carrick says, how do you gauge expressiveness? I'm curious. Despite Ruby ranking high, why do you favor Golang, not even midway the scale? Well, so to answer that simply, that's just that ranking cannot be too much. I mean, there's no absolute ranking. So I mean, just take it as a grain of salt. That's what I'm saying. Unless they are, they are like they differ by several places, then in my opinion, that one is better than that one. But if they are adjacent, because there's no easy way. There's no mathematical way to define. There is, but anyway, in practice, there's no way to say which language is more expressive than the other. There's one article in academic journal that tries to define expressiveness mathematically, but that article is written by one of the guys from the Scheme Lisp, Rice University, whatever, that Scheme Lisp group, who is creating Racket. This is about 2005 or so. So I think his guy is, I forgot the guy, which one is it, Matthias or something. So, I mean, so he wrote a article in one of the journal that tries to define expressiveness mathematically, and that article is like incomprehensible. I think I blogged about it somewhere, but this is long ago, 10 years ago. It'll take some time to find it. Anyway, so he tried to define it mathematically, but the article itself is incomprehensible. Besides that, it's not practical. Because I don't think I don't think he's doing the right of I don't think he's approaching the problem correctly. But um, okay, here, so anyways, so he tried to do that, and I think he failed. And it's an academic paper, so nobody actually read it. So here I have a blog where I quickly written down in 2019 July 17th about which programming language is easier to learn. So I say Golang, Ruby, PHP, Scheme, Python, Emacs, Lisp, JavaScript, Java, Clojure, Perl, OCaml, Haskell. And then which language has the best doc, okay, then I give my opinion. Then which programming language is most popular, okay, then I give my opinion. Then which programming language is more powerful or expressive, okay. Then I give the following rank. So Ruby greater than Scheme, greater than Python, greater than Perl, greater than PHP, then JavaScript, Clojure, Golang, Java, then OCaml, then Haskell, then Emacs, Lisp. So what is this about? So this is about which language is more powerful or expressive. Yeah, so it's powerful or expressive. Yeah, it's actually hard to say, because it depends on what you mean. How do you define? What do you mean by powerful, and how do you mean by expressive? But however, I give this list because, in general, okay, I think this is a good general opinion about that question, about which language is more powerful. So I rank Ruby the best, then Scheme, then Python. Ruby, Scheme, Python is about the same, okay. But I would say Ruby or Scheme is more expressive than Python. Because why? Because Python do not fully support functional programming. Because Python's lambda is the most fundamental thing you need for functional programming. However, in Python, the lambda is crippled. You cannot do much with it. So that is why I say Ruby and Scheme is greater than Python for expressiveness, because functional programming is part of, it's part of expressiveness. Uh, Again, the opinion depends. There's no absolute way. Because, for example, if you like OOP, then you may not think Scheme is better than Python because Scheme is mostly functional programming. Okay, so my ranking is kind of biased towards functional programming. But anyway, I put Haskell like near the bottom because why did I put Haskell near the bottom? Actually, I forgot. If I'm gonna write this again, OCaml and Haskell would be. Wait. Okay, yeah. So I think I had some. Yeah, if I wouldn't write that. OCaml and Haskell would be better than JavaScript for sure. So this is just a fun list. Don't worry too much about that. So Carrick asked about that. So Carrick has. So does that make sense, or do you have anything else specific or anything you are thinking, Carrick? So Carrick says, how do you gauge expressiveness? I'm curious. Despite Ruby ranking high, why do you favor Golang? Not even midway the scale. Okay, Golang. Where is Golang? Oh, Golang is midway. Midway. Yeah, I don't remember. When I wrote that. Like this is kind of part of. So you might say it's troll. Okay, so if I do this again, I have some general idea that won't change. But however, some of the details I would, if I write it today, I would change. Um, it depends. Yeah. So we have to get specific. Like, what do you mean? Which language is more powerful or expressive? So I put clojure greater than Golang. Well, yeah, it's hard to say. You see, clojure is a language that focus on immutability a lot, and functional programming. So everything is a function, and most things are immutable. The data structure are immutable. Um, but clojure is really fairly complex to understand. Not just because it's a Lisp. Clojure is a Lisp that's different from all the other Lisps. So I know Lisp where Clojure is not difficult because it's Lisp, but rather because it has lots of things. It intermix with Java, that makes it incomprehensible. It's using Java's concept of interface. I mean, it's intertwined with Java. Meanwhile, when Clojure tries to market to people, Clojure says, "Oh, we are functional, we are immutable, pure functional language, and so on." But meanwhile, when you actually use Clojure, it's intentionally and heavily intertwined with Java, and with Java's deep down, like not just on the superficially, deep down, and intentionally expose all Java's internal stuff, like Java's interface, Java's object concept, Java's object hierarchy, Java's interface hierarchy, intentionally intertwined with Java, deeply. That's what Clojure is. That is why Clojure is no good. I don't like Clojure because of that. Otherwise, it would be great. So anyway, Clojure is supposed to be very functional, and immutability. On the other hand, Golang is extremely simple. It's like C, okay, but it's intended to replace C++. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, that's What's my take on Rich Hickey? I think Rich Hickey is, I think he's a great guy. He's kind of funny. He's he's not funny guy. Okay, he's just nerd funny. Like he's a nerd, and you watch this nerd, you find it funny. Okay, but he himself is not a funny guy, But he's just this nerd with the glasses. This closure. Let's see. Let's show me my articles. Why closure sucks. Okay, there are two articles you should read. One of them is why closure is dense. Okay, so you have this Rich Hickey guy, this Rich Hickey major nerds. Okay, actually we are about to end because we talked for 80 minutes. Not too bad yet. So Rich Hickey. So you guys should read this article. Why closure is dense. Okay, this I talk about. So this article is about why closure is very difficult to understand language, a language very difficult to learn. Okay, and I explain in detail why that is. Why is that? Okay, I explain that detail. Then, so here is Rich Hickey. This guy, and then I talked about this one. This article you should also read. Clojure's popularity, a tango with Java. Okay, so there's this quote: "Trapped in the train, trapped in the Java train. Northbound is Clojure, southbound is Scala." So if you are a Java developer in the Java industry, you have nowhere to go because Java is this, Java is like a industrial enterprise language. Everything you do in Java is very boring. It's everything everything that's written in Java that's typically tied to, I would call enterprise programming, like database, database numbers, and for business, typically very very boring. Not scientific programming, not anything else. It's like enterprise thing, and so you are trapped in Java, and then if you are trying to find a escape route, you have two routes: Clojure and Scala. So anyway, in this article, Clojure's popularity, a tango with Java, I explain why Clojure is popular somewhat. Okay, any popularity Clojure has, it is Java you have to thank to. Okay, it is Java, nothing else, because Java is the most popular language, the top 5 most popular language of them all. Java, C++, Python today. Okay, PHP, JavaScript, basically these 5. Yeah, more or less. PHP, JavaScript, Java, C++, Python. These 5, yeah, the most popular today, Java. Java is a big monster. Okay, Java. You have the JVM. So Java is it has its own niche. It's like an octopus. Enterprise programming. Everything is a pain in Java. But Clojure is like living in this Java ecosystem. Clojure is telling the Java programmers, like millions of them, because Java is very popular. So Clojure is telling them, hey, Java coders, come over here. We are functional, and everything you know about Java, we still work. Because we are on top of JVM. Come over. That's the attraction. That's the trap of Clojure. That is why I realized, because I was studying Clojure because it's Lisp. I like Lisp. I hate Java. I despise Java. I don't want nothing to do with Java in my life. Okay, so I want Clojure, but it's written in JVM, and I thought, oh, okay, well, what can you do? JVM is very popular, right? Okay, but I accept that. But I want to learn Clojure. You can write another entirely new language on top of JVM. It's just implemented on top of JVM. Okay, so I learned Clojure, but then I realized like every time you want to learn the details, like the full thing is fucking tied with Java. Like it mentions Java interface, Java object. When you want to process strings, you have to use Java's string class. You have to use a closure syntax that creates a Java string syntax, Java string class, Java string object. When you want to do regular expressions, you have to create a Java regular expression class, not closure. Java class. So when you study Clojure, the fucking everywhere is intertwined with Java. So I got very frustrated. So I looked into detail. I tried to find out why is that, why this. Then I realized. Then it's like, oh my God, why? Yeah, that's why. Because Java is the most popular language, and Clojure is piggyback on it. Therefore, Clojure gets popular. That's why. Okay. That is why. And so it is in fact intentional. The Rich Hickey is a Java programmer. Okay, he's this enterprise programmer. So anyway, so it's implicit because it benefit him. This intertwining with Java gets Clojure more popular. So you don't think about cutting the tie. It's just good. It's good for you. Good for Clojure. It gets you to grow. So that's like everywhere intertwined with Java. And for me, no, thank you. Goodbye, Clojure. So that is that. Okay, that is today. At least some extent. So Bart says that is the whole point of Clojure. So there are some Clojure fans when they see me talk, they see oh no, they disagree. They like to live in this bubble of Clojure. When you do Clojure, I have a tutorial. Okay, I have a Clojure tutorial, and then you have to install. It's like npm. It's like JavaScript npm. Java. You have to install Lenogon. Lenogon is this tool set. You have to install a structure. Lenogon, Java, jars, libraries. Like when you install this one dependency, it installs 10 other dependencies, and each one has a cache. Then you have a directory of cache, Java cache. Class cache, few hundred files there. It's like it's a complex fuck. Okay, it's a Clojure is a complex fuck. You have to install. Like in what do you mean complex? Because in Python, for example, Python, Golang, Ruby, you want to learn them, you install them, and you can start coding right away. Nothing else to worry about. You download Ruby, then you can start to type 1+1 or whatever. Same thing with Python, same thing with Golang. Okay, you start to learn, you start to code right away. That's not the case with Clojure. Okay, that's not the case with Java. When you want to learn Java, for example, you go to their website. You have the Java development pack, whatever. Java Java Standard Edition, Java Enterprise Edition, Java Beans, Java Network. You have like 10. You have to spend 1 hour to figure out what to download. Okay, that's the Java. Let's see. Let's go to Java download. You have to spend 1 hour to figure out what all these Java jargons are. Let's go to the Java. First of all, you see, you have two websites. Download free Java. Then you have Java SE. What the fuck is SE? SE is Standard Edition. Then you have Java Standard Edition, Java SE Runtime Environment 8 download. You see? Then you have Java SE Development Kit 8 download. So which one? Fuck. So you have that's a complexity. Okay, SE standard edition, enterprise edition. Then you have the runtime environment. Then you have development kit. You know, like if you are a newbie, if you are new, you don't know. So what do you mean? Like, so which one? Like, you don't know. But let's go to the website. It's pretty bad. Okay, so Java. So once you download it, whatever it is, you have two things. You have the runtime, which is the JVM. Then you have the compiler, Java C. Okay, the compiler. You have to install these two things. Okay, I think my roommate is back. Let me check and close the door. And I think that's it for today. And okay, so Java is very complex. Same thing with Clojure. Okay, because Clojure runs on top of Java. And before, so you download the Java first. Clojure is actually just a library. It's just a jar file of Java. So you download Clojure, it's just a jar file. But when you want to write a project in Clojure, you have to install Lenigan. Lenigan is this tool to manage. It has a structure. It's like it checks dependencies. It checks checks a bunch of things. Complex. You spend 1 hour to learn Lenigan. One day, few days. You spend few days to learn Lenigan before you can even start to code Clojure. Okay. Then Emacs Cider, which allows you to run Clojure in Java. It's connected with the Linux and stuff. It's kind of okay. So Clojure is very complex. It's intertwined with Java. This is in contrast to, like I mentioned before, Python, Golang, Ruby, and many other languages. PHP. You can download and you can learn it right away. You can code it right away. Not the case with Clojure. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. So Bart says that is the whole point of Clojure. So what did you smoke when saying Golang is very simple? It's like C. Yeah, Golang is very simple. What is simple about C? C is simple. It's a universally agreed C is simple. Thank you, Emily. So anything else? I kind of told my sentiment today. Okay, GitLab in Python. Create a proprietary VCS so people don't use it. Open source Git. So Git is the best VC open source shell version control system. Is there any reason to use SVN? No, not today. SVN is basically dead. Nobody is using it. You'll find a handful of people, of course, but Git, just Git is the standard. Discord. I don't know why you have a big thing about Discord, but Discord is just fine. They have like I think Netron version. Like for example, if you want fancy emoji, then you subscribe. You pay $10 a year or something, or $10 a month. You subscribe. You pay them. Then you have the ability to stream, like sync my YouTube in Discord, so people can watch me on Discord, things like that. So I don't know why you have a big issue about Discord, and I thought, and you play games, right? So Discord Discord is pretty popular. I don't know why you don't have an account. And I haven't heard of much evil things they did. Discord. Look up Discord. I did. I already did. I looked Wikipedia. I mean, you have to tell me what's going on. Like, be specific. You not just, oh, it's because it's not open source or something. The thing is, anyway, so that's it for today. We talk about this too many times. Way people before emoji even existed. Like if you have an issue, I asked you before, but you don't have answer. I asked you before. Like, is there some particular incident about Discord that pisses you off? You think it's wrong. If you know, say it. I asked you before. You don't have anything like that. And I did check Wikipedia on Discord. It's just like every other companies. If you like the what what I'm thinking. Like if you really hate Discord to the degree that you refuse to use it, then you should like not use a phone at all in the first place, because that is far more you know the kind of evil whatever you don't want. But you have to use a phone. Well, using a phone is kind of necessary, so that may not apply. But anyway, so that's it for today. Let's see. Okay, 90 minutes. Good. Bye, guys. I I disconnect in 1 minute.